Spotlight on some of the details that you have to be good at, that Caitlin could cover up with her incredible skill, her range, the way she creates space.
So, Caitlin Clark walked into the super exclusive Nike studio. And get this, she didn't say a word beforehand.
No.
Warnings, no press buzz, not even a tweet. And who showed up with her? Just one person, Sophie Cunningham. Not her agent, not her coach, not even her parents. Pretty wild, right?
W really is, you know what I mean? And like, I get it to a certain extent, and like every rookie coming into the league, that's how you're going to treat them. But there's just more for her.
And what happened next, it wasn't just historic, man. It was absolutely unmatched in basketball history. Totally emotional, deeply personal. You see, Caitlin just gave away a part of her massive $25 million deal. No hesitation, no second thought. The WNBA will never be the same after this. Caitlin Clark isn't just changing the game, she's rewriting how power moves in the league. Nike's been watching her since her Iowa days.
So in your career, you got to match up against other Nike hoopers. Do you have a favorite matchup?
You're gonna get me in trouble. Honestly, like, I'll just say because she's such an icon in our sport and has been in the game for so long. You know, getting to share the court with her was pretty fun, and you just see her competitive spirit, even though you're not on her team, like you can just...
Sources Nike puts behind Caitlin Clark now that we're going to start getting some of her merchandise coming out, and fans are indeed excited. I miss my GOAT playing. Gonna go ham on this commercial. I thought it was a nice commercial myself. Where is her own shoe? We're waiting on that. We are waiting on that. Wow. Y'all must have a fever or something. Oh, what a great double play on words. What a great double entendre.
Now, Nike's boardroom really started paying attention when Caitlin was dropping 40 points on national TV. They went all in when she was packing arenas that even NBA teams couldn't fill. And when she signed that massive $25 million contract, the biggest ever for a WNBA player, Nike probably thought, okay, done. She'll be our lone star, our billboard, our face. But here's the thing, Caitlin had other plans. She didn't want to build her legacy alone. About a week before the commercial shoot, Caitlin made a private call. She asked Nike for a custom golden box. Inside was a prototype sneaker, white and gold, with legacy embroidered on the tongue. And get this, it had Sophie Cunningham's initials right next to hers. Nike was like, hold up, that's not how signature deals work. But Caitlin didn't care. She told them, I didn't get here alone, and I won't stay here alone. And they said, yes. Then on the actual shoot day, with all the cameras and lights, Caitlin opened the box, looked at Sophie, and said, this is ours. She literally split the spotlight with Sophie, something no WNBA player had ever done. Sophie isn't the most famous, but she's one of the hardest working players. For years, she's been grinding in this league, taking the hits, the fouls, the trash talk, and still standing strong.
10 other people. All right, now let's go show you something else. So the shoe goes on sale today, or was it today? It's sold out in minutes. And I want to show you something right here. Just so you can, just a reminder, so you remember who the cash cow is, who the box office attraction is. You got to remember this. So remember, if you're not familiar, they have something called GOAT. GOAT is a secondhand market for sneakers. And this is their website. And if you see the shoes on here, it's right here, the Caitlin Clark.
When Kate was hurt, and our offense was clicking, but now we have to have a new offense when she's in there because she just brings that much to the game, and so we have to adjust. And I think all of us just want it now. We know what the potential of this team can be, but we can't think about that. You really have to take day to day, and stuff that worked here, we need to carry it over to tomorrow's game. We have a lot of games coming up, and I think like 7 days or whatnot, and so it's mentally making sure that we're physically making sure.
Commercial since she's entered the WNBA. I know she's made a cameo here, she's made a cameo there, she was featured as part of this rollout here, featured as part of this rollout there, but is this our first official Caitlin Clark solo commercial since she has joined the WNBA? And as well, WNBA ratings from this past week in non-Caitlin Clark games on N have been
Nike
situation. Now, we know Caitlin Clark got some shoes that is set to be released tomorrow. That is a PE Kobe Bryant shoe, bruh. Yes, Caitlin Clark got her own signature PEs with Kobe Bryant and Nike. Now, one thing about it is there's another shoe that is set to be released.
When Caitlin Clark first came into the league, everyone was attacking her, jeering, singling her out. Sophie was right there by her side. When other veterans stayed quiet, Sophie stepped up. When it felt risky, Sophie raised her voice. She even got penalized just for defending Caitlin. And Caitlin, she never forgot that. Caitlin actually said, "She didn't need to fight for me, but she did. And I want that person by my side." That golden box, it was so much more than just a gift. It was a thank you, an act of pure gratitude. And within hours, the footage leaked. Social media absolutely exploded. Aya Wilson posted an emoji. Angel Reese even went live from the Fever locker room. Yes, she actually did that. But here's the thing. Sure, there were tears, but the players weren't upset. They were inspired. Caitlin didn't just take her huge contract. She shared it. One teammate said, "Who does that?" Caitlin didn't just sign a deal. She sent a message. Power, loyalty, and respect are things you share. And now, Nike's already moving behind the scenes. They've greenlit the Legacy line. That means Caitlin gets to highlight one player every single year, someone who truly earned it, not just a friend or a teammate. A new box, a new revelation, a new collaboration, year after year. This isn't just a brand deal. It's a dynasty forming right before our eyes. The WNBA has never seen this kind of power circle before, and Caitlin Clark just created it. Sophie is the very first name etched in gold. We all know this league is tough. Rookies get pushed around, rivalries run deep, fans boo, and the media stays skeptical. But Caitlin Clark's recent actions are a powerful reminder. You protect those who protect you. As you rise, you lift others with you. Points aren't the only thing that matter in the WNBA anymore. It's about impact. With one gesture, one box, Caitlin Clark proved she's the heart of this league, not just its face. True greatness comes from giving, not just taking. That whole moment inside the studio, it was more than a brand deal, more than a press event, and definitely more than a headline that fades in a few hours. It was a reminder that the greatest sports moments aren't manufactured by marketing teams. They're born from loyalty, courage, and an unshakable sense of gratitude. Caitlin Clark walked into that Nike room not as a rookie chasing fame, but as a young woman who deeply understood the opportunity she'd been given. She knew the cameras were rolling, the world was watching, but instead of soaking up her own spotlight, she chose to share it, handing part of it to someone who stood by her when no one else would. That quiet, unscripted decision became the loudest statement of her young career. It wasn't about rebellion or charity. It was about rewriting what leadership truly looks like. Because real power isn't about owning the stage alone. It's about making the stage big enough for others to stand on with you. Nike called it a campaign. Fans called it a surprise. But to Caitlin, it was a promise to never forget where she came from, who helped her get there, and what sharing success truly means. Sophie Cunningham never asked for that spotlight. She earned it through years of grit, sacrifice, and silent persistence. Every bruise, every foul, every tough night on the court led to that golden box moment. And Caitlin saw that. She saw the fighter who had her back when the noise got too loud, the veteran who spoke up when others stayed silent. By giving Sophie half of that moment, Caitlin turned what could have been her personal triumph into a shared legacy. She told the world that loyalty is still the most valuable thing in sports. When the video leaked, social media erupted. Analysts tried to explain it. Critics tried to spin it. But the players, they understood. They saw something pure in a league often defined by comparison and competition. Caitlin had created connection. For a few hours, the WNBA wasn't about stats or rivalries. It was about unity, about respect, and about the kind of gesture that reminds everyone why we fell in love with sports in the first place. As the footage kept spreading, something else started to shift behind the scenes. Nike approved the new Legacy line concept. Each year, Caitlin will choose one player, not a teammate or a celebrity, but someone who's truly earned respect through heart and hustle. A new box, a new name, a new story. One by one, a dynasty built not from contracts or endorsements, but from pure gratitude and recognition. Caitlin Clark didn't just sign a deal, she started a movement. She reminded the business of sports that humanity still matters, that humility shines brighter than any spotlight. Caitlin reminded every young athlete watching that success isn't a solo act, it's a symphony. And for the first time in a long time, fans weren't just talking about points or rankings. They were talking about values, about character, about what it truly means to lead. The WNBA has seen legends before, women who redefined the game, pushed limits, and demanded respect. But what Caitlin brought was something softer, almost spiritual, a belief that legacy isn't about being remembered for what you have, but for what you share. The day after that commercial aired, those golden shoes sold out in minutes. Resale prices soared, but the real value wasn't in the material, it was in the message. The message that the torch of leadership doesn't have to burn alone. When one woman rises, she lights the way for another. And maybe, just maybe, that's how the entire sport rises together. In the locker room, the energy felt different. Rivals exchanged nods instead of words. Young players looked at veterans with a new kind of respect. Coaches talked less about systems and more about synergy. It was as if that single act, a rookie sharing her spotlight, breathed something completely new into the air. And beyond the court, beyond all the contracts and the noise, fans started seeing the bigger picture. They saw a generation unafraid to speak up, to stand out, and most importantly, to stand with someone instead of above them. They saw that greatness doesn't require arrogance. It requires authenticity. And that's exactly what Caitlin Clark gave them. A reminder that the future of the WNBA won't be written in boardrooms or marketing meetings. It will be written on hardwood floors, where players still fight, fall, and rise together. Years from now, people will look back and realize this wasn't just the start of a shoe line. It was the beginning of a new culture, a culture built on connection, on women uplifting women, on athletes rewriting the business of sports with empathy at its core. The golden box will become a symbol not of wealth, but of worth, not of ego, but of evolution. And every time a new name is etched in gold, it will remind the world of that day when a young player looked at the spotlight and said, "This isn't just my moment." So, as this story closes, as the lights dim and the final frame fades to black, remember this: greatness isn't what you keep, it's what you give away. Caitlin Clark has already cemented her place in the record books. But the true legacy she's building belongs to everyone she lifts along the way. Because real icons don't just chase crowns, they build kingdoms where others can shine too. And maybe, just maybe, that's the real victory. The sneakers will eventually fade. The records will be broken. But that gesture, that courage to share, will echo for generations. The dynasty has truly begun. Not in gold, but in gratitude.